Hey everybody, Kyle Sasser here, and it's everyone's favorite time of the month. That's right, market statistics time. These statistics are for Pinellas County for December 2021. Now you're probably asking yourself, Kyle, we are in January. It's a brand new year. It's 2022. Why are we looking at December 2021 statistics? And the answer is that it naturally takes the local real estate boards a little bit of time to get all that information together and compiled into a outstanding looking report like this. So it takes a little time to compile all of those statistics. The other thing to know about these stats is that we are not comparing month over month, so we are not comparing December 2021 to November 2021. We are actually comparing December 2021 to December 2020. And the reason we do that is because real estate has a natural ebb and flow over a 12-month period. And here in Florida, it really kind of follows the school year. If you're a little further up north and there's snow on the ground, obviously, wintertime is going to have a major impact on home sales. We don't have that so much here. But because of all that stuff, that is why we look at year over year, not month to month. And those of you that have been watching these videos or basically paying attention to any sort of news media knows that there is a lot going on in the real estate market currently. Prices are sky high. They are way above peak levels from previous years, which previous high should be like 2006. We are way above that now. A lot of people wondering how long this is going to sustain or continue, and I will touch on some of that in these reports. But by and large, the overall trend of less homes for sale and higher prices is unfortunately continuing. We had a few months where it looked like things were kind of wobbling a little bit. So like September, October, November, or August, September, October, we had a little bit of a wobble where we actually put more homes up for sale than sold. But we are now definitely back in full force with fewer homes for sale. All right, so let's dive into the statistics for Pinellas County. So total number of closed sales was down 0.8% to 1,232 sales. Median sales price was up 24% from $318,500 to $395,000, and average sales price was up 21.7% from $451,000 to $549,226. Now, for those of you that may or may not remember, the difference between median and average. So average is you take, let's say, 10 houses, you add up what those sold for, and then you divide by 10. That gives you the average. Whereas the median is more of like the middle point, where there's an equal number of homes for sale for more and for less. Personally, I do prefer the median sales price just because it doesn't swing quite so hard if some unusual activity happens in the high or low end of the market, and it just provides a little bit more of an even keel than the average sales price. Total dollar volume is up 20.8% to $676 million. And I'm going to skip a few of these here. If you want the full report, you can sign up for it down below, and you will get notification when these are released, and also a link to my website where you can download this full report for your review. But the total of new listings is actually down, but not too much compared to 2020. So it's actually down 2.3% for a total of 921. And then total inventory is down significantly though. So this is everything that's for sale. Total inventory is down 34.8% to 897. Now, for a few months there, we did have a little period of time where we were actually putting more houses up for sale than sold. And that was definitely a positive indicator. But for the last 2 months now, so for November and December statistics, we are back to selling more houses than have gone up for sale. Now, it's definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on because it might wobble back and forth. Currently, it's basically maintaining with where it was in 2020, which, inventory was definitely tight in December 2020. The catch is most people hadn't realized it yet, and certainly everyone wasn't talking about it. Like now everyone's like super hyped because like your barber is talking about real estate values being crazy. Whereas like December 2020, people were still kind of talking about the pandemic more so than, the prices of housing spiking up. Now, it is important to take a look at the different price points here because a $1 million house is definitely going to sell for a little bit different time frame than a $200,000 or $300,000 house. To be completely honest, there's not much difference in marketing a $1 million or a $200,000 house, having sold both. But there is a difference so far as just the number of people that are available to buy at those different price points. So if you had watched the previous year or two of videos, you would know that the overarching trend here is that we've basically had a price split at roughly $300,000. So $300,000 and under, there has been a lot fewer houses for sale and they've been selling more and more quickly. $300,000 and above, there has been a lot more of those for sale, and they have also shortened up time periods. But so we haven't added like new houses in those price categories. What's happened is prices going up like 20% for a year or two in a row, which is basically where we're at, is going to slide most houses up into a different price category. So that's why some of these are going to have like major percentage changes. So for example, $100,000 to $150,000 houses, total number of closed sales by sales price. So between $100,000 and $150,000, there was a drop of 84.4% for a total of 5. And there was no closed transactions under $100,000 for single family homes in Pinellas County for December 2021. There was 0. Oof. $150,000 to $200,000 was down 47.7% for a total of 46. $200,000 to $250,000 was down 49.7% to 84. And then $250,000 to $300,000 was down 31.1% for a total of 166. And we hit that 300,000 mark and things flipped. So there was 11.3% more homes sold between 300,000 and 400,000, total of 334. 400 to 600 went up 41% for a total of 320. And then 600 to 1 million went up 56.4% to 172. So you can see that, the first one we kind of ticked off about a year and a half ago was that $50,000 mark, where those just disappeared. And now, $50,000 to $100,000 for a single family home is pretty much gone as well. And then 100 to 150,000, we only had 5. So it's only a matter of time before that one goes away as well. Median time to contract should be evening out a little bit. We're going to have some wide swings on some of the ones that we don't have a lot of inventory on, just because when you don't have a lot, slight variations can make huge changes. For example, median time to contract for $100,000 to $150,000 was up 237% for a total of 27. But remember, there's only 5 of those that sold. So whenever you only have 5 of something, it's very easy for those timescales to have wide percentage changes. But by and large, most everything else is hanging out between 7 days to 14 days, basically. So no major changes really to make note of. So basically, from the time something goes up for sale to the time it is under contract is on average 7 days, which means that if it is a high demand property, if it is fully renovated and in great shape in a great neighborhood, you're going to have to pull the trigger usually within 24 to 48 hours to get it. Because remember, that's the average. So there's going to be a lot that are selling for less than 7 days. And there's going to be a lot more that are selling for more. But the ones that are selling for more are not going to have demand, which means that they're usually in either overpriced or in rough shape. Number of new listings by listing price. Again, we have that $300,000 mark where things flip around. So between $150,000 and $200,000 was down 53.2% for a total of 37. $250,000 to $300,000 was down 47.1% for a total of 99. And then we hit that $300,000 mark and things flipped. So $300,000 to $400,000 was up 12.7% to 266. And then $400,000 to $600,000 was up 62.5% for a total of 247. So, again, that is mainly because houses are sliding up to new price categories compared to this time last year. It's not that there's actually more houses going up for sale. And then we have our total inventory by listing price, and that's basically down across the board. So between $150,000 and $200,000 was down 51.4% for a total of 52. 200 to 250 was down 62.5% for a total of 54. 250 to $300,000 was down 61.5%, total of 70. And $300 to $400,000 was down 34.4%, for a total of 170. 400 to 600, there was a total of 211, which was a drop of 16.6%, and so on and so forth. Basically, there's just fewer houses for sale in every price point this year compared to last. Thus, supply and demand. We definitely have a lot more demand than supply houses, so prices are going up. Last page here is the doom and gloom page. So this is the page that everyone was kind of optimistic about with the pandemic. We did have the foreclosure and short sale moratorium that was going on for a while. That has since been rescinded, so far as my recent knowledge. And a lot of people were thinking that we were going to have a flood of foreclosures and short sales once those forbearances and foreclosures and evictions were let loose. And those just are not showing up here in the numbers at all, at least at this point in time. So total number of foreclosures in Pinellas County in December, there's a total of 2. And total number of short sales, there were 0. And the foreclosure is usually tied to economic activity. The economy is still doing pretty well. Thus, people aren't really getting foreclosed on. And short sales is when somebody owes more on the house than it is worth. And with home prices going up 20% in 12 months, just not good conditions for a short sale. So nothing currently on the doom and gloom page. So what's the verdict with all this stuff? Like, what's going on in the market? How long is this going to continue? The answer is this is going to continue for the foreseeable future. I do get asked this question a lot. We had a little glimmer of hope in September, October, and August of last year, of 2020, where we were technically putting up more houses for sale than we're selling. And I can tell you anecdotally, also for me and my clients, that it was a little bit easier time to get offers accepted. I definitely wasn't having to go up against 15 offers like I have been recently. That said, the only thing that is, basically we're currently still in a demand shock. Just there's a ton of people wanting to move here, and just not enough homes going up for sale to really offset that. And it's also showing up in the rental market as well. This current trend is going to continue, basically until it doesn't. Honestly, there's been some talks of like rent control and all that stuff. I think that's basically a stopgap. It's not actually going to solve the supply issue on housing, and it's also not going to stop the demand, issue as well. And it's just, I'm 40 years old now. I've been through a few real estate cycles, all the way back. I even remember the ones in like the 90s. And just, real estate comes up, real estate goes down. That, there's always going to be high points and low points. Some are going to be bigger than others, some are going to be higher than others. The one thing I can tell you is that the current conditions are not going to last, but I can also tell you that they're probably going to last a lot longer than you would expect. The only thing that I could see currently, so there's nothing in the statistics currently that tells me that there's a slowdown or anything coming. Some people are worried about interest rates going up a little bit, and that's going to have a huge effect. And the simple truth is that in the last 10 years, interest rates have varied from like 2.5 up to 5, and we're currently at 3.5. So we're still very much on the low end of the interest scale. There is some inflation going on as well, but honestly, buying a house is a tremendous hedge against inflation because you lock in that mortgage for 30 years. And if inflation goes crazy, you're still only making that same mortgage payment. So your buying power, as inflation goes up, the net effect on your income of that mortgage payment actually goes down. Like it becomes cheaper to pay for that house because you have more net dollars. Like your mortgage payment does not adjust with inflation if you get a fixed rate. So basically, there's no, we had a slight glimmer at the end of the tunnel, but now it's definitely raining, and there's some snow that has basically come down and kind of snuffed that light out. I'm definitely still keeping an eye on these stats, but honestly, barring some major economic catastrophe, which is not out of the question, because we are. I mean, if you've been to a grocery store, you know that we're having some major supply chain issues. But it would take something significant and major to really put the brakes on the current trend, because it's not showing up in the demand and the pricing data. So I know that's not good news for a lot of you, but I'm always going to tell you the truth, at least. And I'm definitely not going to sugarcoat it. And I also promise not to give you a sales pitch either. I'm going to give you the straight information. And my clients will attest that that's how I deal on transactions as well. So, so to wrap it up, thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like help finding your own great place here in Tampa Bay, I would be thrilled to help you out. You can reach me via the comment sections down below. You can also reach me give me a call here at the office. My number is 727-300-2111. I cover the entire Tampa Bay area, not just Saint Petersburg or Tampa. So if you're looking in Clearwater or Sarasota or Fishhawk or Brandon, please give me a call. I'll be happy to help you out. Other than that, if you have any opinions or anything on the current housing situation, feel free to leave me some comments down below. Other than that, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.